Hi everyone, good afternoon for this webinar. Before we start, let's give everybody 30 seconds and then we can start. Cool, let's give it 10 more seconds and then we will go straight in. Okay, right, we're right on time. Thank you everyone, thanks for joining this webinar. In this webinar, we're going to be talking about using AI to do candidate outreach, apparently, which is a big major blocker in all in hiring, right? So before wasting time, let's quickly jump into the webinar. So obviously, before we start, just an introduction about me. I'm the founder of Recroot. My name is Gokul, and we are a talent acquisition platform. We provide what we provide is an AI-based hiring workflow, right from sourcing candidates through our candidates database, and then moving on to creating, doing our own AI calling, then AI interviews, and then ultimately shortlisting the right candidates for you. So that's our entire workflow that we work on. We are based out of Bangalore, and then we've got offices in Australia and elsewhere in the world. So let's quickly move on and let's jump into what we have got for today. As you all know, right, AI, one of the critical things when you apply for a job is discovering candidates. Now, trying to find the right candidate for the job is probably the most important problem that we got to solve. Everything else, after you've identified the candidate, you make sure that the candidate goes through the hiring journey. That is still solvable, a problem that is solvable, but a problem that cannot be solved is trying to discover the right candidates. Now, as you know, once you have a job requirement, you post a job on a job portal in probably one or two many job portals. There are two types of candidates. The first type of candidate are job applicants, right? They apply for the job. You don't have to do much. They apply for the job. Then, with the technologies available today, like for example, Recruit, resume automatically gets screened, and then they go through the hiring journey. Now, the problem we have got is 70% of the time, they are not the right candidates, unfortunately. Now, job applicants are looking for a job, and it is very easy for us to interview them, try to fit them. But unfortunately, the data shows is that 70% of the time, they are not the best candidates for the job. The best candidates for the job are the passive candidates. Now, who are the passive candidates? Passive candidates are those candidates who are happy in their job or might not be happy in their current job, but they haven't seriously thought about looking for another role, right? They are there, and if approached correctly, if approached appropriately, they will then make the decision to look for another opportunity, right? Or look for the opportunity that you have opened up for them. So those are passive candidates. Now the problem is they don't apply for job applications. They don't even look at job portals. They're there, and if somebody approaches them, most of the time they are willing to have a conversation, and with the right environment, right change for them, they will be making the change. Now, these are the candidates that most of the times are the best fit. Why? Because they might have worked in a similar environment such as yours. They might have the right skill set you're looking for. They might have the right experience and and the right skill sets and so forth. And most importantly, they might know the industry that you're working in, and they might be probably be in most cases they might have developed a similar software, or they might have worked in a similar company such as yours. So that makes them the right fit. Now, how do we identify passive candidates? There are a lot of problems. Identifying them, reaching out to them, there are a number of issues. So that is what we are trying to address through AI. Let's look at the standard hiring workflow, right? You post a job, and then through LinkedIn and through other areas, you identify the candidates. Now, for this webinar, let's consider that you have identified the passive candidates that you have to reach out to, and then you start reaching out to them. Now, how do you reach out to them? Because you will have a list of 500 passive candidates whom you want to reach out to, but unfortunately you might not have the time. You got to reach out to them on email, reach out to them on phone, and that's a long process. And then most of the times, out of that 500 that you're trying to reach, only a fraction of them would be ready to make the change, right? And then you set up the initial interviews, final interviews, and candidate selection. The entire hiring workflow, the candidate outreach is a big problem. Now there is a problem around finding the passive candidates, finding their phone numbers, email addresses. That is a problem we are solving through our database, which we will have a separate webinar on. But for this particular webinar, let's talk about candidate outreach, which is a major problem. Now, a lot of our clients already have a database of candidates. They might have applied to that particular company 2 years in the past. They might have applied and they might not have been selected. So there is a database of candidates that most companies have, and then reaching out to them is a big problem. And that is what we will try to cover in this webinar. So before we move on, let me quickly talk about the major problems, right? As I mentioned, job applicants are not always the best candidates. Candidate outreach is a bottleneck. Our research shows that 40 to 50% of a recruiter's time is spent on candidate outreach, right? Which means picking up the phone, talking to the candidate. The candidate might not pick up the phone, send them an email, send them reminders, call them many times, trying to get them to answer the phone. And then after they picked up the phone, then make them talk, judge if they are interested in the role, because ultimately every candidate will say, yes, I'm open to trying this role. But ultimately the person who's serious is the person who's really interested, right? So if a person is not really interested, then he's wasting his time or her time, wasting your time and so forth. So candidate outreach is a big bottleneck, and that is a major problem in hiring. And then ultimately at the end, understanding candidate willingness, right? You give them a call and the candidate says, yes, I'm interested in this role, only for them to dump you two rounds down the line, and then before the hiring manager interview. So these are major problems that we have identified in hiring that all organizations go through. It is something that I think AI can solve. Now, why should we be implementing AI for this, right? Number one, it is a repetitive task, and as a thumb rule, anything that is repetitive can be automated, right? And because it is repetitive, it takes a lot of time and it is very manual. And the problem with manual work is that the impact and value you get out of the work is a fraction of the effort that you put in place. If 5 recruiters spend 50% of the time only to be reaching out to candidates, and then only few of them then they're able to convert only a few of them into the hiring journey, and then ultimately they also drop out, then that is a lot of wasted effort. Now, recruiters are highly experienced. It's a highly skilled role, and their time and effort could be much spent on candidates who are going through the hiring journey, candidates whom they know that is really interested. The second important thing is as I told you, trying to get the candidates' interest, right? Now, most of the times we have a problem, especially in niche roles, is that one, the existing company will be trying to retain them because they are adding value in their existing roles, and those are the kind of people that whom companies you might want, right? You might want people who are already creating a lot of value in their current organization. You might want to poach them. The problem is the current organization will be willing to retain them, and then there are other competitors who are trying to poach them. So you got to be better than your competitors or other organizations in luring them, getting their interest, giving them the right opportunities, and then getting them. So what this means is, in order to understand, is the candidate really interested in this role, right? Now, it is very difficult to understand candidate interest. Even the most experienced recruiters miss out many times, and it is a wasted effort. This requires a lot of effort, but the conversion is very less. So in all, manual outreach will not scale and has not proven to be scalable. And this is a problem all of us know. Now, how does AI help? Let's imagine a different flow, right? Let's imagine a flow where you identify the candidates, you have identified the list of passive candidates, and then candidates are contacted instantly, right? You don't have to do the contact. The AI does the contact. The AI sends email. The AI does the call. It calls them many times. It sends them a WhatsApp saying that it's trying to call the candidate, and then tries to identify a time when the candidate is available. Initiates the conversation with the candidate, asks all the basic questions. AI can do that in natural voice. Let's say it asks all the basic questions, identifies the candidate interest, talks about your organization, talks about why your organization would be a better career move, or would be a good career choice for the candidate, and then talks about the candidate's experience, their current projects, and talks about what their current salary is, what is the notice period, would they be interested. Gets all the information that is valuable for the recruiter, and then identifies, okay, these are the best engaged candidates, these are the best candidates, and then gives you a list and says, okay, out of the 500, I have tried reaching out to all the 500. I was able to talk to 300 of them, because after multiple attempts we were able to reach out to them, and out of the 300, these are the 40 candidates who are the best, because they are interested, they fit your environment, they fit your experience, they have the right skill sets you're looking for, and the salary is within your bracket. The notice period is also something that is within what you're looking for, and these are the right candidates for you to pick up from here. Would that not be really great? Because it's solving you a lot of problem. Add that with a database that the AI already has. Let's say, because in this case we are only talking about candidate outreach, but think of a scenario where the candidate database is already available, and then the AI can generate its own database of passive candidates based on the role, and then automatically do the reaching. I think that would be a perfect scenario, right? And AI can do that. AI can identify passive candidates from different data sources, and then reach out to them, and then give you a curated list of a few um, uh, candidates that you can then take the conversation further. Now, this is a workflow that AI can generate. Is making it possible. These things were not possible a couple of years ago or a few months ago, but it is possible now. Now, I'll stop here because we have discussed the problems with candidate outreach, the problems, and then we are discussing an AI supported workflow that would be beneficial to you. Before we move on to discussing AI calling and other things, let's take a moment for any questions. There is a question around, does Recruit provide candidate database? Yes. So obviously, I know that getting a list of sourcing the candidate is also a major problem. With Recruit, yes, we provide a database of candidates, and then we automatically do the reaching, candidate outreach, and so forth. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. So now let's talk about AI calling. The reason why we want to talk about AI calling is because that is the mechanism through which the AI would do the candidate reach out. The candidate, when the AI would reach the candidate using email, WhatsApp, but at the end of the day, through email or WhatsApp, the candidate is going to come back and provide a time when the AI can call the candidate, right? So everything happens automatic. So what this means is AI is going to do the calling on behalf of the recruiter. There is no human involvement required. The recruiter need not have to be on the phone. The recruiter just have to upload the job description, and then if he has a list of candidates, upload the list of candidates, and then sit back and then see how AI would do the magic, right? So AI would call the candidate. It would call the candidate and talk to them in natural voice. It would tell them that it is an AI. It would introduce you from which company the company that it is calling from, read out the privacy statement, talk about the role, and then get the candidate's interest, and then ask a number of questions. If the candidate is interested in carrying forward the call, then it would ask a number of questions related to the job description, and get information around their experience, their what they're doing in the current role, have their skill sets, and the projects they are working on, and what is the value they have generated for the current organization, and also convince the can if the candidate is a good fit, also then explain why this career move would be a good option for the candidate, and so forth. So that, in a nutshell, is AI calling. And that is a question around, is it available in multiple languages? Yes. The advantage with AI is it can talk to in multiple languages, be it English, French, German, and any other language. It can talk to the candidate in the language of their choice and get the best information out of the candidate. So here is a sample call that we wanted to say. How will that call AI calling work, right? Because many of us will have this question around: how will the calling work? Will it happen? Will it have a natural voice? Will it be seamless? Will there be issues? We'll talk about some of the issues later, but let's run through the sample call and see how the sample call goes.
Hi, this is Suji from.
Yeah, Gopal speaking.
Hi, Gopal. I'm Suji, calling from Recroot. I came across your profile and wanted to check if you're currently open to a personal banker role.
Yes, tell me.
Awesome. Is now a good time to talk?
Yeah, please.
Before we start, a quick note. As per our privacy policy, we don't ask for any personal information or payments during this call. It will be recorded securely for 3 months and only authorized team members will have access. Sounds good?
Yeah, very much interested.
Great to hear that. We are hiring for NIT and
Quickly, there is a question around: is it a conversation with the candidate or is it a Q&A? It is what we are showing is a conversation with the candidate. I mean, it's a sample, not a candidate, not an actual candidate, but a conversation with one of our teammates to show you how a candidate outreach would look like. Right now, the lady who's speaking is the AI. The person who's talking is the candidate, and basically, it's a scenario where the organization is looking for a personal banker, and the AI is calling the candidate. The WhatsApp has already been the workflow is the WhatsApp has already been sent, and the candidate has agreed to talk to the AI. So the AI is calling the candidate and initiating a conversation. The workflow is the script is customizable. The workflow is completely customizable, right? And yeah, this is the generic workflow. But the one thing that we generally recommend is the privacy. There was a privacy script that ran. The privacy script is very important because that gives the confidence to the candidate on that this is not this is a reliable call, and we take the candidate's information seriously. So let me quickly run through it.
they're looking for a personal banker to enhance customer experiences. NIT focuses on making banking easier and more accessible for everyone. Does that sound interesting to you so far?
Yeah, very much interested.
All right, now let's move on to a few quick questions to get to know you better. Where are you currently working and what are your main responsibilities there?
See, I'm currently working for AR Innovations India Private Limited as a customer service manager. I'm having total 3+ years of experience. So my responsibilities are here to handle visited customers in our bank and suggest them or guide them about the process and
Appreciate the clarity. Can you describe a challenging customer interaction you managed and how you resolved it?
Okay, challenging scenario. If I talk about where I handle the panic customers in front of me, calm, listen actively, apologize to him, and the customer appreciated the support and the issues was permanently fixed.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing. What is your current employment status?
I'm looking for a job change right now.
All right, noted. What is your notice period with your current employer?
It's a 30 days notice period.
Understood. What are your salary expectations for this role?
I'm okay with your offers.
Got it. Thank you. Are you comfortable working?
For the interview anytime in a working hours 9 to 6.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing. When would you be able to start if selected for this position?
I can start.
Oops, sorry.
Letters from your previous organizations.
Yeah, yes, I do have.
Great. Appreciate the clarity. Can you explain any gaps in your employment history?
No, I don't have any gaps in my employment history.
Understood. Do you have any questions for me at this time?
No, not now.
Cool. So that's how an ideal call will go. And this generally it goes for a longer time. We have tried to cut short this call to 5 minutes, and I've just run through it because it's a 5 minute conversation. I don't want to bore you with a 5 minute conversation in this audio. But generally, the AI, I hope you understood the logic. It would ask for all the information, including all the basic information around candidate, any gaps in resumes, whether the candidate is able to produce appropriate relieving letters from the previous employers and so forth, and then ability for the candidate to work in the city of the job and so forth. So those are the basic information, and then the information around what projects, the skill set, the communication skills, all of this is also assessed. In all of this, then the interest is gauged, and a score is generated. Now, if you looked at it, uh, if you run through the entire call, you will see that at the end of the call, the AI will say, okay, because this is a cold outreach, and the candidate is a passive candidate. We still, when at the moment the system does not have the candidate's resume, right? So at the end of the call, it would say, the AI would say, okay, this is the email address, and then and the AI will say that we will also message the email address to you. Please send the resume to our email address so that we can take this forward. While the resume gets generated based on the score, the hiring journey moves on, right? So not wasting any time on the ability to get the resume and move forward. So that's a sample call. Before we move on, yes, the AI will save the script for interview. Yes, so the entire call recording and the script, everything gets recorded. Now you can see the recording as well as the transcription any point in time. That's what I was going to come to. That's the advantage of an AI call outreach, because everything gets recorded, right? And that's the value. And you also get to know what the candidate is talking, how serious the candidate is. Let's move on. Yep, you have seen what it does. The advantage with AI calling is, let's say you have 500 people to call. Now you can, because it's AI calling, and it can call concurrent candidates at the same time. It can call 4 or 5 candidates at the same time. It can do the reminders. It can we can customize the AI to do what we want, right? Imagine 5 or 6 candidates are being called in one shot. Now 500 candidates, the entire 500 calling of the 500 candidates would be over in a couple of hours. Now, out of that, 200, the AI might have been able to talk to 200 people. The rest of the 300 candidates, they might be busy. They might say, call me after 2 hours, call me in the evening, or they might not pick up the phone. All of that, the AI can automatically handle. Let's say AI says, the candidate says, give me a call in the evening. Then the AI is trained, the AI can automatically ask the candidate, can you provide a time in the evening? Can I call you at 6 o'clock? And the candidate say, yes, call me at 6 o'clock. You don't have to worry about the scheduling. The AI will automatically call them at 6 o'clock, right? That's the value of having artificial intelligence. Or the candidate says, I'm not interested in this role. Or the candidate says, call me tomorrow morning. Or I'm busy, call me after some time. All these workflows can be handled, right? And the AI can is the AI is capable of taking its own decision, which means this candidate, I was not able to talk to the candidate. I couldn't get a time. Instead of before I call the candidate again, let me send a WhatsApp. So a WhatsApp is sent, and trying to and the WhatsApp, and then the candidate then talks through the WhatsApp, and then the call is made. So all of this is customizable and enables the candidate, gives the candidate a lot of flexibility and options, and then it provides scores based on communication skills, knowledge, confidence, and subject matter expertise, and all that. And then reports are generated instantly, as I mentioned, calling scripts, and so forth. And it solves one of the biggest bottleneck in recruitment, right? When we have been in this industry for some time, everything is solvable. To us, there are only two major problems. One is finding the passive candidates, and then reaching the passive candidate. These are the biggest problems that I see. Once you have identified the right candidate, once you've done the outreach and had the initial conversation, from there we also provide there is AI interviews and all that automation, but that automation can be handled, right? But the major bottleneck is these two. This solves one of the biggest bottlenecks in recruitment. Yeah, I mean, it's self-evident. What's the value? You cut the time to hire, number of and then a lot of recruiter time is freed. This has been a real value for recruitment agencies that we see, because recruitment agencies, the recruiters spend a lot of time trying to reach the candidates. And what we have seen is that there are two things. First thing is it automates everything. It saves a lot of effort, and you actually don't need a lot of recruiters. And those recruiters, they can spend their time on trying to understand the candidate better, so that when they submit the resumes to the client, you can also send the call status, everything, right? So the client is able to make a better decision. Second, even small recruitment agencies can now compete with bigger ones, right? Because if you are a recruitment agency with 4 people, 5 people, 2 people, or 10 people, you can now compete with the guys who are 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, right? Because this saves a lot of the recruiter effort. And with the reports, the client will be able to see the value. So where does this shine, right? Where does AI shine? When we spoke about callings and all this, what is the best, what is the best industries for this? To us, right, these are the two things that we see really adding value. First is high volume. If you're hiring for a high volume role like customer service, personal bankers, anybody which requires a lot of people within a short time, this is a boon, right? Especially for call centers and big manufacturing companies and so forth. This is a boon because it can call as many as possible and then get them through the interview process very fast. So it helps in high volume. And then niche roles, because as I mentioned, what we have seen with niche roles is that it is very difficult to get the candidates time and get to talk to them. So if the first initial touch base with people who are in niche roles is AI, that saves you a lot of time, because you're able to quickly be in front of them, and from there you can take it over. Let's say you have identified 100 people who are very busy, and AI keeps calling them, messages them, gets the initial conversation going. From there, after that, then they're able to then from there you can then pick it over, right? You can then take it over from there. So that's the value for these roles. There is a comment around most candidates are reached after 4-5 calls, but then if they hear AI, they are likely to hang up. So that's why I think the AI calling for the first time is obviously there is we have tried these workflows. AI calling out of the blue, there are some people who are not up for that idea. That is why what the AI would do is always WhatsApp them, message them, tell them that such a call will be coming, and it will be coming in the next few minutes or few hours. If you're interested, if you're not interested, say no. If you're interested, you don't have to respond. Just pick up the call, and that has worked, and it works for 80% of the candidates. So what the value that we see is in candidate outreach. The AI is able to reach 50% of the candidates after 3 to 4 attempts, and is able to talk to 50% of the candidates in 24 hours. So in 24 hours, it would have sent a WhatsApp. It would have tried 2 times, 3 times, number of reaches. So within 24 to 48 hours, it's able to get to reach to 40 to 60% of the candidates. Sometimes 60, sometimes 50, because this is cold outreach, right? The candidate is not expecting your call. And out of that 50%, it depends. Some of them say, I'm not interested, I'm not looking to change now, I don't want to quit now, I don't want to join this, I don't want to apply for this company, and so forth. In what we've seen is 10 to 15% of them go through the complete the call and say that they are interested. So those 10 to 15% are the people then you can start taking forward within 24 hours. That's the realistic what we've seen, because it's with a cold outreach. So 50 to 60% reach within 24 hours, and then out of the 50 to 60%, 10 to 15% will be saying will say, okay, I'll apply for this role, I'm interested to join, to go through the hiring process, and they will go through the complete call. The rest of them will say, not interested, I'm not looking for a job now, and all that other reasons. But you will get to know that very fast. So that's the value that AI generates. But at least in India, we have not seen. The good thing is we have seen this in other markets like Singapore and other areas where there are some people who have said to the AI, I don't want to talk to an AI, and the AI says, okay, I'll let a human call you. But in India, we have very less people who are not open to AI. Might be because India is very tech savvy, might be because India, this concept is much more adaptable for the Indian minds. In India, we see that we don't see a lot of people saying, I don't want to talk to an AI. They are more than happy to talk to an AI. At least this is what we've seen in India. Okay. I think we are past our interview our time by a minute. I'll quickly complete by saying, with AI, from job description to screening to initial interview to further interviews, all of this can be handled automatically. Let me, there is one more question. Let me quickly complete this and I'll answer that question. Fairness and authenticity. What is very important is AI authenticity and the ability to provide the confidence to the candidate that their data will be secure, their data will not be, privacy is handled, their voice, their video, everything is recorded securely and will be deleted securely, and they can at any point in time ask for the data to be deleted. As long as we are very stringent on privacy and security laws, security obligations, I think the candidate would like the transparency and would be more than happy to do the AI calls. So will the AI handle different speeds or quality of response from different? Yes, the AI can handle different speeds. The AI, you can configure different speeds. You can configure to be slow. You can configure to make it faster, and AI, and depending upon the quality of response, the AI can automatically handle the response. Most of the times, the candidate will say, "Yes, I'm interested." It is very rarely the candidate will explain in the first call. So the AI can automatically change the questions to get the best out of them. If the candidate speaks a lot, then the AI would ask pointed questions. If the candidate does not speak, says, yes, I'm interested, yes, no, then the questions will vary. The questions will be much more open-ended. The questions will be, okay, can you describe a project, how you did this? Can you provide in 2 lines how you did this? So the AI can adapt the questions, which is the value that AI provides. If the candidate asks questions, will the AI reply? Yes, certainly. The AI will reply questions that it can answer. It can answer questions around role. It can answer questions around salary. It can answer questions around the company. It can answer questions around why this is a good role based on the information that it has gathered from the candidate. It will say, okay, this is a good role for you. This is a good career move for you because of these reasons. So those things it can handle. To some extent on the interview process, it can handle. Now, anything other than that, like what are the perks in the organization? Who would I be reporting to? What is the team? Anything that is very internal to the organization, the AI will probably say, this is something that I might not know. I mean, you will be able to get these questions answered as you move forward in the interview stages. So anything that is basic and can be answered, the AI will be able to answer. Okay, that comes to the end. We have overshot our webinar by 4 minutes. But before we wrap up, please visit recruit.io. If you want a personalized demo, we are more than happy to give a demo. Just reach out to us through any of the through LinkedIn or on our website, and let us know if you are interested in a personalized demo. We will give you a personalized demo. Or if you are interested in a free trial, just sign up to our platform and then give us a call, and then we will help you give you the navigate through the platform. Before we wrap up, any final questions? Otherwise, I will give a quick 10 seconds for any final questions. Otherwise, we can wrap up. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your support. We'll be coming back with another topic in a couple of weeks for another webinar. Until then, thank you so much. Thanks for your support. Thank you.